Hello, this is Greg from SharePoint Maven, and today I would like to explain to you the three different types of navigation that we have in SharePoint Online. Now, navigation is obviously extremely important, right, as you have all your different sites and subsites and site collections, different departments, different projects, repositories, whatever it is. You obviously need a way to navigate around them quite easily, right? You don't want users searching for stuff and scratching their heads and trying to figure out how to navigate to a certain site. You really want to build a nice navigation for your users so they can pretty much navigate to any site that exists in your environment within one click. That's the idea. So let me explain to you the different types of navigation that we have available in SharePoint Online, and then at the end of the video, we'll actually show you a fourth type of navigation that exists in SharePoint Online as well. Now, the three main ones that exist in SharePoint are Quick Launch Navigation, Site Collection Navigation, and Hub Site Navigation. Let me explain to you the difference between the three of them. The Quick Launch Navigation is essentially the navigation that we have on the left-hand side of each site, as you can see here. So I have my sales department site, and on the left-hand side I have different links. Now, the idea behind Quick Launch Navigation is that it's navigation that will help me navigate this specific site, around this specific site. So if I have sales department site, the idea behind those links is that it will pretty much link to different components that we have, different web parts, etc., that we have on this particular site. Or maybe it will link to something that is relevant to the site. We call it Quick Launch, but I also call it local navigation, all right, for obvious reasons. In this case, these are the links that I expect to be related to this sales department site. All right. Now, on a team site, if you use the team site template, which is what this is, the Quick Launch Navigation is available on the left-hand side. All right. If you use a communication site template, then, and here's an example of what it looks like, right? This is this new modern template that we have. It's this white screen, if you will, template. There is no left-hand side navigation. Essentially, what happens is the Quick Launch Navigation we used to have on the left-hand side is moved all the way up top. All right. So if you have, once again, the team site, it will be on the left-hand side. If you have a communication site, it would be appearing on the top. All right. So that's the first type of navigation, Quick Launch or local navigation, whatever you want to call it. The second type of navigation, it's a site collection navigation. I use it. I also use the names such as top navigation or global navigation. But the idea is that this is essentially what you see over here. This is the navigation that will help you navigate around your site collection. So the scenario is that the idea is that if you have a site collection, just like I have here, you see this is my site collection for my company intranet, and all of this sites over here, all these links over here, this happen to be subsites directly underneath the site collection. So the idea is that I have all my sites, pretty much all my sites exist in the same site collection, and the idea here is, of course, that the idea behind global navigation is that it stays consistent. So as I navigate from all my, from one site to another, right, obviously the look and feel of the site will change, the quick launch will change on each site, but as you can see, my global navigation, my top navigation remains the same. All right, so from user adoption standpoint, it's very critical. My users are not going to be lost navigating around, because I always have my consistent navigation that kind of goes with me. Now, let me show you how to maintain this global navigation. Let me navigate to one of my sites. Now, if you have a classic site or a modern site that is not connected to an Office 365 group, very important. You can only manage site collection navigation on a site that does not have an Office 365 group connected to it. So it could be a modern kind of looking site, which is what I have here, or it could be a classic site that you have with a classic wiki style, I guess wiki page look and feel. Now, it's very, very important, if it's a subsite, you cannot manage site collection navigation on a subsite level. You have to be at the root of your site collection. Hopefully that makes sense. That's where you maintain your navigation, your global navigation. And it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to manage. So I'm at the top of my site collection, gear icon, site information. I need to get to site settings. So if you have a classic site, it's just gear icon, site settings. Here, because of the modern site, we have an extra step. So once again, gear icon, site information, and then you go to site settings. And then over here, you will notice edit links. So you see, I can create all the different links that I can to my subsites and everything. Let me just copy this. Let's just call it, why don't we call it home? Here's an address. Perfect. And I can create all this additional links. As you can see, another link and whatever the URL is. That's pretty much how easy it is to manage the navigation of a site collection. And the idea is that right, you would manage it at the root of the site collection, and as you create subsites, right, by default they will inherit the navigation from the parent. Just to show you here, because I already have created this previously, just to show you how this navigation, same thing, how this navigation is built. Gear icon, site information, site settings. As you can see here, I already built my navigation at the top of my site collection, and I can easily manage it. Over here, and it will propagate all the way down to my subsites. All right. So this is the second type of navigation. Essentially, it's a site collection navigation. Now, this is great, but now with the modern flat architecture that we have in SharePoint, we don't have things in a single site collection anymore, right? We now have all those different communication sites, Office 365 groups, and as I mentioned in my blogs and videos, previously, essentially you have all these different site collections floating in your tenant right now, because every time you create a communication site, every time you create an Office 365 group, it provisions a whole separate site collection. So this approach no longer works, because if I build my navigation in one site collection, it does not propagate to a different site collection at all. Now, to fix this, we now have a new type of navigation in SharePoint called hub navigation. And essentially, what it helps us achieve, it helps us pretty much build a common navigation among multiple site collections that we have. I recorded a separate video on how to do that, but for the purpose of this demonstration, what I would like to show you is how to quickly build a hub site navigation and how to easily manage it as well. So now here's what I have. I have once again one of my sites, and then I also have this intranet, another site collection, a communication site that I'm going to use as a company kind of landing site, if you will. Now, in order for me to build the hub site navigation, this is something you do from the modern admin center. Here we go. And let me find my site. Here we go. What I'm going to do is in order to build the hub navigation, I first need to register this site as my hub site. So checkbox, register as a hub site, and I need to give it a name. All right, here we go. And now my site is updated. Shouldn't take long. And let's just see if it did it already. Let me reload my screen, my page. Look at this. Here we go. As soon as I did it, it did get another level of navigation, right? Remember, it's a communication site, so this is my quick launch navigation. We really don't have a site collection navigation on communication site, but we do have hub navigation. So here we go. And this is where I can maintain the links to the different site collections that I have in my tenant. Now, this compliance site that I have, let's use this example. I'm going to connect this site to a hub, to a hub that I just created. I can actually do it from my admin center over here and associate it to a hub, or another option, I can do it from the site itself. Gear icon, site information. Over here, I have different hub sites in my tenant already, but this is the one I need. I need to connect it to a hub. This one, intranet. Click save. And what happens is now my site collection, this compliance one, is connected to my intranet hub. All right. And remember, you see, I got this header over here from my internet hub, because it's a hub navigation now that I got. Now, hub navigation can only be maintained from the main hub site, from the parent hub, if you will. So you see, I can manage it over here. I cannot manage it over here, right? I cannot manage it over here because it's a site associated with the main hub. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I need to do is just grab the URL over here and add it as a link, and we can paste it as a link and build our hub navigation on the parent hub. Here we go. Perfect. Look at this. So now I can easily navigate to different site collections. You see, this is my intranet site collection. If I click on compliance, look at this. It goes to a totally different site collection, yet my navigation remains the same. So this could be links to different Office 365 groups. This could be links to different communication sites, even sub-sites, even external links, whatever it is, whatever navigation you build on the parent, it propagates pretty much down to all the sites associated with this hub. And this actually, let's stay on this page for a second. This is a great example because on this one site, we got 3 different types of navigation that we have available, all pretty much all coexisting on the same site. Quick launch navigation, the local one, remember? My site collection navigation. All right, so this is the navigation that I would expect for this particular site collection and subsites underneath, and my hub navigation. So this would link. This is like the very global, if you will, the top navigation that I have, because it links to all the different site collections, all the different groups and communication sites, etc. that I have in my environment. Now, this, of course, probably a good example. Probably might be confusing, right, to your end users to have all 3 on the same site. But just thought I would show you so you can kind of differentiate and pick which one works best in your particular scenario. Now, so yeah, these are the 3 different types of navigation that exist in SharePoint Online these days, but we also have another one. We also have another type of navigation, and I call it personal navigation. Now, the thing about the 3 types of navigation I just showed you, they were all man-made, right? This was the navigation that you had to build manually and maintain manually, right? So somebody within the department or IT has to build it, has to maintain it. If links change, if sites change and new departments popping up, somebody needs to physically maintain it to keep it fresh. But what if, what if you don't really have all the links, all the sites hooked up through a hub site navigation or your global navigation, right? How do you navigate around to new sites? How do you navigate around to, pretty much sites that do not exist as part of the menu? Well, in this case, there is another type of navigation, as I said. I call it personal navigation. And the way you access it, you go to the app launcher and click on SharePoint. And essentially what this is, it's I call this page Facebook for SharePoint sites. It's literally just a way for you to navigate all the different sites that you visit on a regular basis in SharePoint, that you either visit frequently or you follow. And if you notice, this page this is not something I built. This page is something that just exists in SharePoint. Microsoft built that page. This is not this is not something that would be similar to for your employees, because every employee will have a different the look and feel will be the same, but of course the pages will be different, the size will be different based on users' activities in SharePoint. If they visit certain sites on a regular basis, they will all appear here. If they follow a site, it's very important to follow a site, to bookmark a site, and it would appear over here. So this will always change. This page will always change based on users' activities and the sites they visit frequently, the sites they follow. And but the idea behind this navigation is that it pretty much builds itself, right? The more you use SharePoint, the more the user goes to different SharePoint sites. The more activity you will see here on this particular page, and the user can choose them. The users can choose themselves to follow certain sites or unfollow them. They really don't need to depend on the navigation you would build for them. It pretty much kind of maintains it by itself, if you will. And that's the idea behind this particular navigation. I think it's pretty cool. Definitely, I think at the end of the day, you will probably use all four that I showed you today, right? I think this does not really, this particular personal navigation does not replace the hub navigation. It does not replace the global or local navigation, right? I think you kind of still need those for consistency. But I think this is just a bonus, I guess, for those situations if a user just needs to quickly access the site that they follow or visit on a regular basis. So this will probably be great. Just it'd be a great complement, and if you will, functionality that the users will use. All right. Thank you very much. I think hopefully you learned something new today. And again, thank you for your time. And I hope to see you again on my YouTube channel as well as my website, SharePointMaven.com. Thank you and have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.